Do you have 2 minutes to help save a life? That's all it takes to become an organ or tissue donor, yet so few Canadians are doing it. That's where the David Foster Foundation comes in. The foundation's CEO, Michael Ravenhill, joins us with more. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So tell me what the foundation is about. It's named after the musician and composer, and it was actually at his mom's encouragement that he set up this foundation.
Yeah, it sure was. It was about 35 years ago now that David's mother asked him to go and see a little girl who was at UCLA Medical Center. And David at the time was living in Los Angeles. And so David went, and you always do what your mother tells you to do. So David went to see this little girl, and he asked her some questions and asked the family. He could see the stress that was on the family's face. And just he was about to leave. He said, is there anything I can do for you? And the little girl said, David thought that the little girl would say, I want to go to Disneyland, or I want to see this celeb, but that's not the case. Actually, the little girl looked at David straight in the face and said, I just want to see my sister. And David was perplexed by that. So he asked some more questions, and then he realized that this family had not been together in over 3 months, and this little girl had not seen her sister in over 3 months. So David said, I'm going to make that happen. So we made some phone calls and set it all up, and David picked the little girl up with her aunt at the airport and drove them to the hospital. And he said when those two girls' eyes met, he said it etched in his heart forever. And that was how the foundation started.
Right, and now it continues in across North America, and it's for families whose children are going through or are in need of a life-saving organ or tissue donation. But it's not so much about the medical part of it, but it's about the financial part of it, and all the expenses that they have waiting for an organ transplant or a tissue transplant.
Yes, that's correct. And what we do is what we say is we come alongside the family in a time of need when most families, when they're given this diagnosis, one parent will have to stop working, or maybe a single parent, and they'll have to stop working, and they'll have to fly to the hospital where their child will be waiting for an organ transplant to happen. Well, this, of course, we pay for all non-medical expenses. So food, clothing, transportation, accommodations, flights, you name it, mortgage. It's really important for us to take away all the financial pressures so the family or the mother or the father or both can be beside the child. And that's really what we're trying to do, is we're saying we don't want you to worry about losing anything. We want to make sure that what you do is spend the time, and the important time, to be beside your child.
And you also want to get out the message of how few Canadians, we like to think of ourselves as a very generous society, a generous country, but yet so few Canadians have actually signed that donor card.
That's a great question. And, Canada right now has one of the worst organ and tissue registry rates in all developing countries. If you think about that, we're one of the greatest countries in the world, but yet we lag in this department. We're just under, just about 30% right now. But give you some stats on that. It basically means that right now, there's 5 deaths a week, or 1 death every 30 hours in Canada. And we have about 4,500 Canadians that are waiting on the transplant list. And about 1,600 people are added each year. So one organ donor can save up to 8 lives and can improve the quality of life for up to 75 people. So think about the impact of that and how great that would be if we just had more people that were registered.
And to know that your loved one will live on and help so many lives. So, Michael, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get information up on our website at chch.com on how more people can help. Number one is signing that card, right?
Oh, it sure is. And it takes only a few minutes to do. DavidFosterFoundation.com. We've got all the links there for you for each province. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
today. Okay. Bye for now.